I have been on Etsy for almost a decade. It is the platform that I first started selling my random card designs on, and it is a platform that kind of gave me the introduction that maybe my shop could be a real thing and buy a website domain and start email marketing and all that legit business stuff because of the sales that I got from Etsy. I love Etsy, and I think people complain about it all the time, but I think there is a reason why Etsy is so great. And even though Etsy is such a small percentage of my sales, I will never get off of it. I just wanted to begin by looking at my sales graph and showing you very honestly that Etsy is such a tiny part of my six-figure business in revenue. When I first started selling my stuff on Etsy, even though Etsy makes up such a small percentage of my sales compared to my own website or selling wholesale on Faire, and it takes up so much time to make listings and ship orders and message customers and all the logistics of being on that sales platform, I will never get off selling on Etsy because there are so many benefits you get from being on Etsy that you can't get anywhere else. Etsy is a go-to search engine. If you're gonna buy something small batch and handmade and small business or something super unique, you are definitely going to look on Etsy. Etsy is the search engine if you're looking for something specialty. And it is seriously such a big deal for Etsy to be the #1 search engine and for you to be on it. I cannot tell you how many craft fair invitations, pop-up shop invitations, features on press that I have gotten because I am on Etsy. My products have ended up on websites like BuzzFeed and Refinery29 and Forbes because someone was curating an article, a list of like handmade small business, and they were searching for terms that I sold. My stuff ended up on those articles and got me hundreds and hundreds of sales. Even now, a couple of years later, those are still active and sometimes I still get traffic from those websites. Let's take my BuzzFeed article feature, for example. Somebody that was writing the article went to Etsy and searched honey Valentine's Day cards, that mine popped up. If I wasn't on Etsy, that means that I don't have a chance to be featured on that list. And even if they didn't search on Etsy, if they searched on Google, no matter how big your small business is, it will not be the first thing that showed up. Etsy is a huge corporation that has spent billions and billions of dollars to make sure that their SEO rankings are really, really high on the interweb of finding things, which means when you put your product on Etsy, you have a higher chance of being found by someone searching for the search terms that you sell. Being on Etsy means that you spend less time and money and energy on marketing. If you already have a small business and you're selling your own thing, you definitely know how much time it takes to get your products out there and get eyes on your shop. I think small businesses that are kind of starting new don't really understand how much time marketing takes. It's very easy to think that just because you make a really cool product that your friends and family like, and maybe you even sold at like some small craft fairs, that means that you'll sell really well and you'll have a lot of sales online. But when you kind of exhaust your initial reach and you reach all the people that you kind of can find organically, you start to realize you need to find more people to buy your stuff. And in order to do that, you need to spend time marketing. Because Etsy is that search engine and it has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people on it, a good percentage of those hundreds or millions of people that are on it every day will land on your shop and end up buying something. Etsy did this thing a little while ago where they now require you to have like advertising fees that you can't opt out of. And I see a lot of people on forums complaining about it. And yes, it is super annoying. Do not get me wrong. However, it is still way cheaper than you spending your money advertising on Instagram or Facebook or Google. Trust me on that. I have run paid ads not only for my small business, but bigger companies that have hundreds of thousands of dollars in budgets. The advertising fee that Etsy makes you opt into is still cheaper than running paid ads yourself off of Etsy. Being on Etsy gives you resources that are irreplaceable. Etsy's blog posts, community forums, and local events are things that are really, really helpful as a small business. Yes, of course, Etsy's blog posts and Instagram tips are free and can apply to you even if you're selling off-platform, off Etsy. However, it is most applicable to if you are selling on Etsy. Community on Etsy is also something that I would highly encourage you to be a part of as you are starting out in your business. Of course, you can find other businesses through Instagram and TikTok, and you'll honestly probably forge better personal connections because you can kind of understand their business looking at their Instagram stories and their TikToks and kind of seeing behind the scenes. But Etsy has a very, very huge amount of sellers that are kind of complaining and dealing with the same things that you are when you're first beginning. A lot of these problems and even tips that sellers encourage each other with are on Etsy platform specific. So if you're off that, you can't really take that and apply that to whatever platform you're off of. Because I have been on Etsy for so many years, even though it is now such a small percentage of my sales, it has allowed me to really connect with any small business owner that I meet. For better or for worse, everybody knows what Etsy is. And if you're a small business, you have probably dabbled in it somehow. And so being there and kind of understanding all the changes that are happening and all the updates that are going on allows me to connect with much more small businesses than if I was off Etsy. Being on Etsy over the years has honestly been a headache. Every single year, there's like something bigger to figure out. Like one year, Etsy decided that they were gonna prioritize all shops with free shipping. So I needed to figure out how to kind of adjust my costs so that I could offer free shipping and get to the front of the Etsy pages. Last year, it was like an inventory thing where it's just so hard for me to reconcile my inventory that sells on Etsy versus my other platforms. They change their algorithm constantly, just like any other platform. They increase their fees this year and there's knockoffs everywhere. It's just a nightmare to be on. However, I will still always be a fan of Etsy because I think it is really a platform that has given voice to a lot of small businesses, and I don't think there's enough people who really acknowledge it for that and instead just complain about it. I think the most important part is to figure out how you can make Etsy work for you, figure out your ways around the annoying parts that Etsy makes you do as a small business owner. With that said, I would still recommend that if you're in business for X number of years or you have X number of customers, you still migrate onto your own platform so you don't give Etsy all this holding power. But that's true for anything, right? If your main marketing channel is Instagram, you should be on other platforms. If your main customer acquisition is from craft fairs, you should be figuring out how to gain customers from online marketing, etc. Just like life, anything with small business is about a balance, and that's how I balance Etsy with all my other platforms. I'd love to hear what questions you have about Etsy in terms of me offering free shipping or the logistics of it or anything else that you might want to know so that I can address it in a future video.